Tonight on the HPT, we're at Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor in Black Hawk, Colorado, where a field of 607 entrants generated a prize pool of nearly $900,000. Going out in ninth place was Ozark, Missouri native Jacob Phillips. With only 18 big blinds in his stack, Jacob shoved all in with King-Queen offsuit and was called by the suited ace-king of Mike Englert. The flop, Queen-9 deuce, gave Jacob top pair. The turn card, another deuce. With just one street remaining, Jacob needed to dodge an ace, but it wasn't meant to be. The ace of spades hit on the river, giving Mike a better pair, and Jacob was eliminated. He went home with just under $18,000. Our eighth place finisher, with only $720 invested in this tournament, was salesman and Wheat Ridge, Colorado native Chris Denz. Holding ace-queen offsuit, Chris raised to $175K in late position. Once again, Mike Englert was there to make the call from the small blind. The flop, 5-8 deuce rainbow. Mike checks, Chris bets, Mike makes the call. The turn card was the 10 of diamonds. Once again, Mike checks, Chris bets, Mike raises, Chris shoves all in, and Mike makes the call. Chris has ace high, Mike has the buzzsaw. Pocket eights giving him a set. Chris is drawing absolutely dead. The meaningless king falls on the river, and Chris was eliminated and walked away with just over $22,000. And finally, going out in seventh place was 30-year-old freight broker and Monument, Colorado native Michael Hind. With just over 600,000 chips remaining, Michael woke up in early position with pocket fives and shoved all in. Action folded around to Matt Bond in the big blind. He made the call with King-10 off. The flop, 6 ace-7 all hearts. Both Michael and Matt had a heart, but bad news for Michael. Matt had him outkicked. The turn card, the queen of clubs, gave Matt a straight draw. Now Michael needs to dodge a king, a 10, a jack, or any heart, but it wasn't meant to be. The river card was the 8 of hearts, and just like that, Michael was eliminated, but not for nothing. He left us with just under $27,000. Well, folks, we've got 6 players left and over $500,000 to award, and it all starts right now on the HPT.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the HPT. I'm James Larson alongside Kenneth James, and this week we broadcast from Black Hawk, Colorado, here at the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor. This is our 25th trip out here to the mountains, and to date we've awarded $23 million.
Yeah, we're in the mountains playing poker tonight, James. And let's talk about our players. Matt Bond, he's our chip leader, but not far behind another pro, Mike Englert. Ooh, it's going to be exciting to watch these two players duel it out tonight.
Never count out Nick Pupillo. He's at this final table back in 2015. You may remember he won our event in East Chicago. But there's 3 other players here. They all want to be our next HPT champion. So let's meet them, and most importantly, take a look at the cash.
Up top, over 200 clams. That's over 200,000, folks. On down to 6th place, 31,855. Matt, he's sitting on top. He's our chip leader with 57 big blinds. Not far behind is Mike, though. Let's see how this final table plays out.
And Nick Pupillo making his 5th HPT main event cash, his 3rd TV table. He's the short stack right now, so he's got a little work to do. Of course, back in 2015, he won a title at the Ameristar East Chicago. Action starts right now. Glad you're with us here on the HPT. And speaking of Nick, there he is in the 1 seat. First hand of the night, looks down at pocket jacks. And when you're on the short stack and the button, that's probably a pretty good time to wake up with pocket jacks.
Yeah, it's a nice hand to find when you're on the short stack. And look at this nice fold of pocket fives.
Yeah, just like that.
Wow.
Now, action over to Matt now with King 10. Love his name, Matt Bond. Bond. That's Matt Bond. $955,000 for him to make the call. He's thinking about it.
And he does it.
He is going to make that call. So Nick in the lead here with his pocket jacks, hoping to double up and hang around a little longer than just the first hand. And this is a good start for him as we go to the flop. And just like that, the worm turns ace-king tray. It's a rainbow, but Matt pairs his king. So bad news there for Nick Pupillo.
Yeah, and you know, you can see the pain in his face as the rest of the cards are going to peel off the deck. He needs one of the remaining 2 jacks to double up and stay in this tournament.
And the river card is the ace of hearts. So the third HPT final table for Nick Pupillo is not a charm, but hey, he's still going home with a nice little payday, $31,855. Congratulations to Nick. And we've seen his success here on the HPT. And I predict we'll see him very soon here on another HPT final table.
And I got to mention John Beauprez there, who really got out of the way with pocket fives and conserved his chips. That was a really smart move on his part. He's actually one of the co-founders of Chip Leader Coaching. So he knows what he's doing for sure.
All right, Mike Engler going to raise it up. He's 29 years old, a realtor from Fort Collins, Colorado. Raises to $250,000 with his ace-4. And now a re-raise all in. Pocket jacks again. Now, Steve, didn't you see anything from the hand before?
The fish hooks.
Those pocket jacks can be trouble. And Mike makes the call, and he's going to see the bad news. Steve's happy. He's smiling, but he knows they're jacks, okay? The flop is 9-8-7.
So far, so good for Steve's all in.
Well, Steve's hand just got better there. He just made a straight twice. He made it to the jack twice. So now Mike just hoping for a chop here if one of the two remaining jacks come on the board.
Not to be.
And not to be. 9 of spades. So Steve is going to get a much-needed double up to keep his tournament hopes alive. And when we come back from this short commercial break, we'll have more here from the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor right here on the HPT. There's 17 casinos here in Black Hawk, Colorado. That's more casinos than in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It's crazy up here. They got the fever, and they got the poker fever. James Larson, my name, alongside Ken and James. This is the HPT. 5 players remain. They're all chasing the title tonight. And that cash up top, Ken, at $200,762.
It's a lot of cheeseburgers, man. Nothing to squirm about, I'm telling you.
This is our 25th HPT event here at Golden Gates. The first was back in 2007, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Matt's going to raise it up here to $200,000 with his queen tray, and action now over to Mike Engler. We're seeing a lot of early action here, aren't we? We just started the program here about 7-8 minutes ago, and we're just getting a lot of action with the cards early on, and those are the decks that I like to see.
Well, here we got some blind-on-blind action happening. Matt raising it to $200,000 from the small blind, trying to steal. Mike having nothing of it, defending with the queen jack.
Flop is 10-7 deuce, couple of diamonds, so nothing really there on the flop. But that doesn't mean you can't put chips in the middle, as Matt's going to bet $150,000.
Well, he had the lead pre-flop in the betting, so he's going to c-bet for sure, especially when he has nothing. Interesting defend by Mike here.
Yeah, he does make the call, and he's rewarded on the turn, kind of, with the king of hearts. Now he's got an open-ended straight draw.
No, that's a huge turn card for him. His opponent checks. Now he elects to bet rather than take the free card.
And the bet is 280,000 chips. Now Matt here with just a queen high, and look, he's reaching for chips.
Gonna raise this. Oh, all right. So what Matt's doing here is he's trying to rep the king since he raised pre, right? And he's setting the story that he's got a hand like ace king or king queen or a set of tens, and he's repping this through his actions by leading the flop and now check raising the turn. This puts Mike in a really tough spot. Let's see what pot odds he's getting. He's got to call about 2.5 to 1. So he needs to win this about, 29% of the time. And
well, it's a tough call, man. This is a really tough call. And this is where it's much easier for us because we see those old cards.
Wow, and he folds.
You know, and the way Matt played that hand, give credit where credit is due, my friend.
Yeah, he did bluff him out of the pot. I think if you're going to fold to a check raise, if you're Mike, you got to take the free card on the turn and not bet it. Never bet yourself off of drawing to the nuts, folks.
So there's a perfect example of a really boring board and boring hands being great because both players became very creative in that and took made something out of nothing, really.
Uh-huh.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah, it really was. And this guy's just not letting up, this Matt Bond. He's now raising with king 6 of clubs. He's going after this title.
Boy, and he's got great table demeanor.
Again, it's a blind on blind here.
Yeah.
Mike defending. Notice he's not re-raising at all here, even though he has position.
All right, well, the flop comes out ace, 10, 6, only one club. But most importantly here, Mike pairs his ace, but Matt gets a small piece of it with bottom pair.
Both players check it. Looks like Mike is looking for some pot control. Matt now leading the turn. Don't like this after he decided to give up his C-bet and check the flop. Since he has a piece, I'd prefer checking the turn. Instead, he elects to bet. Mike defends. We go to the river.
River card is the 7 of diamonds. You see the check mark there for Mike. He can't lose unless he folds his hand. Matt's going to check.
And I expect this. I expect Mike to check it back, too.
But it looks like he's reaching for some chips here.
He's going to go for value?
Well, he's going to go for value, but he's probably not going to get value. He bets $330,000, making the pot just over $1.2 million.
The reason I'm surprised at that is because he bet his draw and then folded. And here he doesn't have a really strong ace, so I thought he might elect to check it back on the river. But he wins the pot, stacks it up, and on to the next hand we go.
All right, well, here at Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor, the HPT has awarded over $23 million in main event prize pool cash. I still remember the single largest payout in HPT history, 2011, when Craig Casino won just over $293,000 and really jump-started his HPT career. As the action continues here with Mike with ace queens, going to raise it up to $300,000. But now Will is going to obviously enter this pot. He's got a pocket pair, pocket sevens.
Yeah, this is a good hand, especially to a button raise. Just deciding how he's going to play it.
All in. Will says all in.
Looks like he's moving all in.
Will Berry is 26 years old, a professional, lives in Houston, Texas. He's got his girlfriend Tori in the crowd, so she'll be cheering on this pocket pair up against the big two overcards, the ace and queen.
We're going to see how lucky sevens are real quick, real fast as we go to the flop.
And the flop is queen 10-5, so the seven's getting crushed there by the queen of diamonds. Mike goes ahead in this hand. Turn card now is the king of hearts.
Is it going to be a 7 out?
One of the two remaining sevens Will needs to pick up, and he doesn't do it. It's the 10 of spades, so all the chips going over to Mike Engler. Can he continue this hot streak, this heater that he's on? He sure hopes so, because up top it'll be $200,762. But congratulations to Will Berry going out in 5th place. Welcome back to Blackhawk, Colorado, here on the HPT. We're at the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor. 4 players remain.
Yeah.
And we're having a lot of fun out here. We always do. Huge prize pool, a lot of action, as always, up top for your champ. $200,762, and the action continues here. Matt's going to raise it up to $300,000. By the way, this is Matt Bond's 5th HPT final table. So you see him heating up here.
Yeah.
This isn't anything new for him. 5th HPT final table, and Steve's going to go all in, and Matt's going to make the call, and Matt's going to see the good news.
Yeah, he's at home. He's comfortable here on the HPT final, for sure.
Boy, is that some kind of a Cubs hat that Steve's wearing there? I kind of like it. Flop is Jack 10-4. It's a rainbow, so Matt pairs his Jack, improving his hand.
Yeah, Steve down to 19% as we go to the turn.
Turn card is the 8 of clubs, so one more street left for Steve, or he will be eliminated in 4th place. Let's go to that river card, and it's the 10 of hearts, and that will do it for Steve. His 4th place finish will net him $56,482 as we continue now three-handed, and the show's moving at a pretty rapid pace here. We're supposed to fill an hour.
Yeah, well, I got to hand it to John Beauprez here. He really hasn't had a lot to work with, and his table position is horrendous. Having both these players on his left, the big stacks, the toughest players on his left, it's a tough spot. But What he has done is work with it, stayed out of the fray, and let the other players bust out, so he's laddered up effectively.
Boy, you look at these three sharks at this table, John, Matt, and Mike. I mean, I got a feeling we're in for some good poker here tonight on the HPT as we go to the flop heads up. It's 10-8-4, couple of hearts. Matt will be first.
Yeah, Matt now with king high. I expect him to take his aggressive line, which he's taken all night. Mike's strategy has been more passive to defend his equity, and so I expect him to call.
Matt's bet is $275,000. You see Mike paired his 8, so he'll make the call with middle pair. Turn card now is the 7 of diamonds, so Mike's hand improves now to 2 pair, 8s and 7s.
Yeah, now Matt, interesting. He doesn't really have anything. I think he's going to give up on this pot. And Mike, does he go for value here, or does he checks it back? Now, this is beautiful because it looks like in his opponent's mind that he may have just a flush draw and elicits a bluff on the river from Matt.
And it's doing just that to perfection, yes. My friend.
Yeah, nice.
Look here, as Matt's grabbing for chips, $775,000. It's perfect.
Yeah. You know, it's a little uncomfortable for Mike because now any 9, of course, makes a straight. But this should be an easy call and a win.
Easy call and take down this pot.
Any 5 also, by the way. Not just a 9, but a 5. So it's a little bit tougher. That's why the delay in the call here.
Mike Englert, by the way, this is his 3rd HPT final table, so he's been here before as well, and he's going to show his hand, and he's going to win that pot of just over 2.6 million chips.
Nice. Nicely played.
Boy, these guys are really going back and forth, man.
Yeah.
They haven't said one word to each other yet that I've seen.
Well, they've said a lot of words,
yeah,
but
right.
You know, it's done in thought form.
Yeah, exactly. And John's just kind of over there doing his own thing. You know, haven't heard much from John. He's in the corner letting these two kind of fight it out.
Yeah, well, he's kind of handcuffed here based on his chip stack and the cards he's being dealt. You know, I think he's playing everything standard GTO strategy at this point.
All right, flop here is 9-6 tray. So Matt pairs his 9 and Mike pairs his 6. Bets $225,000 from Matt Bond.
Yep.
Mike will most likely make this call here with middle pair.
And that's because, you know, when you flop a pair heads up, you figure to be good, you know, or at least average.
And now the 8 of diamonds comes on the turn, so an open ender there from Mike.
Matt defending his equity with his top pair. Mike's hand improves because he picks up the additional draws, the additional straight draws of the open-ended straight.
All right, we go to the river now. It's the tray of hearts.
$1.7 million pot now. It's really interesting how these two have been playing. If you notice, even though Mike has had the position in the majority of hands they've played together, blind versus blind, in fact, position every time blind versus blind, it's really Matt that's been pushing the action.
All right, the bet is $575,000. Look at Matt. He's like a statue. The guy just doesn't move.
Yeah, he's...
How do you read that?
Just like you said, he's a statue stoic player. But you'll notice how you read it is the difference in the timing of his bets. You'll notice sometimes he's a little bit slower in the length of time he thinks before making a bet, and that's where you can pick up tells. This time he has it, and he drags the pot.
Matt's going to win that hand, hoping to win an HPT title here at the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor. But John and Mike have different plans, and we'll continue our action right after these messages. We're in the beautiful mountains of Black Hawk, Colorado. Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor. Matt Bond sitting high atop the group, but, you know, it's poker. It's the HPT. Anything can happen. I'm James Larson alongside Kenneth James. Great to be broadcasting with our friends listening and watching on the HPT.
Absolutely. Always feel at home here with all you folks. And thanks for welcoming us every stop we come, and all the comments and wonderful things you have to say. James and I really appreciate you and your support of the HPT.
Definitely want to thank our crew. These great shots wouldn't be possible. And that tall guy you see out there, that's Jeremy Smith. You can hear his voice in the background, too, sometimes. He's our tournament director. He's with us on every stop. So thanks so much, Jeremy. Heads up to the flop we go. King 9-5, couple of clubs.
Interesting here, Mike, once again, defending from the big blind, is flopped a flush draw. Matt has the betting lead and has top pair, leads with a C bet of $225,000, a continuation bet. Let's see what Mike does now.
Bets $225,000. You see Mike with the club draw there. So a pot of over 1.1 million chips. We go to the turn card. It's the Queen of Hearts. So now truly a little something for everybody there, Kenna.
Yeah, well, that even brings Mike into the hand even more with a pair and a flush draw. Let's see if this slows Matt down. It does. He does check it.
All right, so Matt checks. Action now over to Mike. You see the percentages there, 75 to 25, but a 425,000 bet. Now, do you want Matt to come back here and raise, a check raise here perhaps?
I wouldn't. You know, you just don't have a strong enough kicker, and if your opponent is bluffing, you want to manage pot size, and that's exactly what he does. He just calls. Great question, though.
So a pot now of 2 million chips. We go to the river, and it is the 6 of clubs. So the check mark goes from Matt down to Mike, and Mike makes his flush. He can't lose unless he folds his hand.
Now it's a 2 million pot. What's interesting is his bet size. How much is he going to go for value? He's going to try and take Matt to Value Town. You want to make sure that you get the guy on the train and not bet too much.
Well, the bet is 1.4 million.
I think that's too much.
Is he trying to make it look like an overbet, or is it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's close. I mean, it's hard for me to second guess. He's been down there. He can feel his opponent. He feels the energy coming off of him right now. If he thinks he's got a king, I think he's made the perfect size bet, but you don't really know that, you know? It's tough. It looks like he may get called. If he does, he's made the perfect size bet here. If his opponent folds, he should have made it 900,000. He does. Wow, what a great play. What a great play.
He makes the call. Wow, give credit where credit is due there.
Yeah.
Mike Engler, well, making it look easy out there, kind of.
Well, it's not, because, believe me, he's defending his position, but he's not being overly aggressive. He's being patient. Wow, really good poker.
Hey, we got John on camera. Good. John,
Yes, John.
how are you? I was worried. I haven't seen the guy in a while. He hasn't played a hand in a while. As Mike wakes up with a good one here. Ace Queen, 160,000 chips to make the call. As you see, we're playing 8160 with a 20K.
Yeah, he's not calling here. He's going to raise on the button, I'm sure. John just looking for anything to get involved and make a
It looks
make a
like
move.
this
He
is
does.
the hand.
What's he
John's
got?
going to get him. Well, he's
Oh!
got pocket kings. You see, good things happen to those who wait, my friend.
Yes,
Pocket
patience.
kings. Bond's going to get out of the way, and John says, here we go. This is my party, finally. I got a hand. I get to play. I get to be on time, Mom. I'm on TV.
You know, my dad always said, patience breaks through iron doors. And look at this. He's got to be rewarded
Look
for
at
his
that.
patience.
King
Nice.
7-5, a set of kings for John. So he's spiking the football a little bit now.
Yeah, you just got to avoid running diamonds here or a running straight draw, and he will double up, and he does.
Yeah, that'll do
Nice
it right
double
there.
up.
So John, you know, he just pops in every, 32 minutes or so, plays a hand, doubles up, and then he's, you know,
Yeah.
right, a typical poker coach. You know,
Well-
you guys got this game all figured out. I don't know why you don't final table every one of these.
Well, I'm sure he final tables a lot. And remember, he's worked his way. We're just seeing a small, sample
Right,
size
of
here.
course,
He's
of
worked
course.
his way through this entire field to get to this point. So,
All right, big hand here from Matt, pocket tens.
Matt on the button now. Nice to pick up these big hands on the button.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because your opponents a lot of times think you're stealing, and sometimes you get a lot of action.
Mike's going to fold his king 9. Does John want to jump in the water 2 hands in a row?
He does.
Sure does, and he's got a king 9 as well. He's going to make the all-in raise here, and Matt makes the call.
Well, this was just, mistiming. Really kind of unlucky to run into this big of a hand for an opponent who has such a high, wide hand range as Matt does.
All right, flop comes out Jack 10-4, so Matt hits a set of 10s, and John's really going to need some help here on the turn and the river. And there's one of the cards that'll help him, a 7 of spades. Keep his flush draw alive, so that's the only. And a queen, correct?
Makes a straight, so it's going to make the interesting river card. Here it comes.
And the river card is black, but it's a club, the deuce of clubs, and that's going to do it for John. Eliminated in 3rd place, but hey, that's one hell of a prize.
Sure is.
$81,288. And when we come back, the Matt and Mike show will resume right here on the HPT. How you doing, everybody? James Larson alongside Kenneth James, and welcome back to the HPT here at the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor, Black Hawk, Colorado. I don't know what it is. The air out here, I can just breathe. I can breathe so easily out here in the mountains of Colorado.
Hey, I saw you walking out in the mountains yesterday.
Yeah, that was
talking
me.
to the trees.
Yeah, I was trying to get in touch with nature, my friend. All right, let's get back to let's get in touch with the poker that we're here to be calling. Mike's got Jack 6, first hand of heads up. And before the break, I called this the Matt and Mike show because that's what it's been here for the first half of this show. John just got eliminated, and now these two can spread out a little bit at each end of the table and battle out, kind of a David versus Goliath, a Mike Tyson punching match, if you will.
And Mike starting this heads up, as we said, about a 2.5 to 1 chip disadvantage, but both players very shrewd professionals. This is going to be a great match to see this play out here.
Flop is Jack 5 deuce, couple of spades. Mike bets 475,000. Matt's going to quickly make the call. Turn card now is the Tray of Hearts. And Matt checks over to Mike.
Matt picks up a gut shot 4 to the wheel draw. He thinks his ace is probably good, so he may, reason a call here, and he does.
835 and a call.
This pot ballooning up now.
It really is. Almost 3.8 million. 10 of clubs comes on the river.
Ooh, what an interesting river card, because now Matt pairs his 10, and he thinks if his opponent doesn't have a jack or if he has a flush draw, I'm good. It looks like Mike is going to go for 3 streets of value with his top pair weak kicker, and he's going for a lot of it, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, 875,000.
Actually, that was probably just a little bit more than a quarter of the size of the pot. So I think that's a really great value bet on Mike's part, and he is going to get paid off.
Mike shows Jack of Hearts.
Mike's going to show the Jack 6.
Toot, toot. You know what that is, right?
I'm guessing it has something to do with that last train to Value Town.
That's the whistle to the train to Value Town.
Action continues here. Blinds 100,000, 200,000 with a 30K ante. James and Kenna here. Table side. Mike looks down at ace-6.
This is a traditional raise, probably to about 500,000. Those white chips, 100K apiece. He makes it 450, 2.5x.
Now Matt Bond picks up a hand here. King, Queen. Might get a re-raise out of him. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Up to 1.4 million.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see these players, their different styles and strategies, where Matt is much more an aggressive player and Mike much more the conservative, defensive type of player.
Great flop here from Matt. He pairs his queen and gets a diamond with the queen 10 deuce flop. He's going to bet 800,000. Over to Mike here with really just ace high.
And this is the problem when you play overly defensive. You know, you're kind of flop dependent a little bit, especially on scary boards like this. You can't just be hoping to flop pairs. So he may elect to call and peel, definitely considering his options.
Let's not forget, this is Mike Englert's third HPT final table, but let's also not forget this is Matt Bond's fifth HPT final table. So both of these players with experience under the lights, with the cameras, with the studio audience, you know, playing for this, you know, unreal cash.
Absolutely. Almost $80,000 difference between first and second place. I just like to see these players, both accomplished, both have effective strategies, but definitely different approaches to the game.
Great to be back here at the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor in Blackhawk. For me, this is, I think, stop number 23 or 24. I know we've been out here 25 times, but just want to say thanks to the dealers, the staff, Cage for helping us out. He's the poker room manager. Everybody's just so supportive because we see so many people coming through here during this week. It's just absolutely awesome. Matt's going to raise it up to $500,000 here with his 10-6 of clubs. Speaking of clubs, Mike's got a couple as well.
Yeah, he's got the Jack-8 of clubs. And this is pretty true to form, right? Matt's raising and Mike is defending.
Flop is King, 6 tray, 2 hearts, and a club. And as you see, Matt gets the best of it. Pairing is 6. Mike's going to check over to Matt. Matt's going to put out a bet there of $350,000. Looks like Mike will see another street.
Interesting. Yeah, like we said, you know, when you play a defensive, trapping, protective game, you can't just be giving up when you don't flop pairs. You got to see what your opponent does and what develops on turns and rivers and try and wrestle pots away on later streets.
All right, river card now, 9 of clubs.
And that's exactly what's going to happen here. Look at this. See, Mike's timing is just beautiful here. He doesn't have anything, but his call on the flop represents in his opponent's mind that he has something.
The bet is $755,000.
Wow. Look at this. Matt sniffs out the bluff and makes the call, the hero call. This time the hero wins the day. He stacks the chips, wins the pot. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a match. We'll be right back here on the HPT.
All right, welcome back to the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor here in Blackhawk, Colorado. I'm James Larson alongside Kenny James, and we're back to the Matt and Mike show. Heads up poker at its best.
Yeah, and Matt still with about a 2-1 chip lead. Let's see if any change in strategy or if it goes pretty true to form here.
All right, Mike here calls the $150,000, but now a raise to $950 by Matt with his Jack-8.
Yep, and another defend here.
Both of these players with a ton of success. Mike Englert's third HPT final table, Matt Bond's fifth HPT final table, and the flop is ace-queen tray. It's a rainbow.
Matt here with a lead.
Yeah, the bet is $550,000 by Matt, and Mike just here with a junky 9-6 offsuit.
Well, he has position. He can float Matt here if he doesn't think his opponent has anything. Wait for him to slow up on the turn and then try and take it away. And that's exactly what he does. To the turn we go.
Call is made, and look at that. Turn card now is the 6 of spades, so Mike goes ahead. That junky hand just turned into an 86% favorite.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that, of course.
Right.
And Matt now, let's see if he slows down.
Well, he's not moving. Are we sure he's okay? Oh, there he is.
He slowed down to a stop.
Scared me.
You know, it slowed us down. We froze for a moment there.
I was going to call our director and say, Jeff, what's going on back there? All right, the bet.
No, he doesn't. He bets $1.1 million.
$1.1 million.
So, you know, this is what happens. You know, it's hard to float a guy because you wait for him to slow down so you can rep a hand on the turn. But this guy doesn't slow down. So how is Mike going to respond now? that he's got a pair.
This pot ballooning up to over $4 million. And now Mike reaching for chips.
You know,
and that looks like a raise. That's an all-in.
It's an all-in.
It's coming over the top, all-in.
You know
now.
what it was? You asked me a great question earlier, James. Is can you pick up tells? And it was the betting tell, the timing of the difference between Matt's bet on the flop and on the turn that showed weakness. Mike picked it up and he executed perfectly to take home a big pot.
Great point. You cannot move your body and you can be that statue, but that's a great point.
Yeah.
When, how fast you do it.
Right.
All right, look at this. Mike picks up a hand here. Pocket jacks, heads up.
Monster heads up.
First place money, I'm going to remind everybody, $200,762. The raise is to $600K.
600,000 total bet. Over to Matt.
And now Matt looks down at 7-4. He's going to make the call.
I don't really like this defend from Matt. You got to defend wide, heads up. Little do, because this is why you're going to get in trouble here. And only because Mike has been playing very defensively. And so now when he starts to open up his range, it looks like he's a lot stronger. You can throw some of these rags away.
All right, so Matt there. Good flop for him, but as we can see, Mike's got pocket jacks. We go to the turn card. It is the 4 of spades. So now Matt's hand improves to 7s and 4s, but Mike's still with the best of it with jacks and deuces.
Yeah, it doesn't really help Matt too much because if Mike has the overpair like he does, he still has a bigger 2-pair, obviously, and he's going for some more value.
Mike bets $1.2 million.
Yep, beautiful value bet. Matt defending once again. I'm not sure what his plan here is on the river. A nice safe card for Mike. Expect Matt to check. Mike once again looking for 3 streets of value. Can Matt get away? He really only beats, big cards, big aces, Broadway hands, maybe 5s.
And he's going to make the call, and he's going to see the bad news. Pocket jacks.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy. And that all started pre-flop with the defense, and then flopping top pair. Wow, that's a pivotal turn of events there.
Things going very well here for the 29-year-old realtor, Mike Engler. And now action on Matt here. Looks down at King, Queen.
Surprisingly, now he just elects to call.
Now Mike wakes up with ace-5 of clubs. We'll see if he decides to raise this up. His option.
He's got this, look at how he interestingly goes back and forth and touching his cards, his down cards, before he makes us play. We might look at that later and see if we can pick up a tell on that.
All right, Mike's raise was to $1 million, and now Matt says, I am all in.
Matt really playing a high-level mental game here.
And look at this. Mike is going to make the call, and Mike's going to find out he's in the lead. And, folks, this could be it. If Matt doesn't improve, he will be eliminated in second place. Let's go to the flop. And it's Queen 8-4, so a good flop there for Matt. He's not a stone statue right now. In fact, he's doing a little jig out there.
Yeah, it's not over, though, as Mike has got the flush draw or an ace.
Turn card is the 9 of diamonds, Matt saying, so you're saying I still have a chance. A pot of just over 10 million chips, and that will go the direction of Matt. So he's not going home yet. A couple of high fives with the gallery. And when we come back, we will conclude our heads-up match right here on the HPT. Welcome back to the HPT. Mike Engler up top here, taking on Matt Bond in this heads-up match. And it wasn't too long ago, Matt Bond had a 2-1 chip lead.
Yeah, now Mike has wrestled the chip lead away. There he goes, touching his cards again. And it's now neck and neck, 26, both with the blinds going up now, 200 and 400,000 and a 50,000 ante, both players on short stacks of less than 25 big blinds.
Flop is queen, jack 5. They're all hearts. You see Mike holds the king of hearts in his hand. Turn card is the 9 of spades.
Matt with the 7 of hearts.
That's gonna bet.
He bets. I'm sure Mike is defending here. He's got also straight draws going as well as his second nut flush draw. To the river we go.
River card, no heart. It's the jack of clubs. So it's a chop pot, as you can see.
Yeah, this is
fun.
Yeah, well, you know, Matt has shown aggressiveness and the lead, and this time it works. He's going to win the pot.
All right. Well, these two have really dominated the show today. They've had the most airtime. I'm worried. Are we going to have to pay them some kind of
extra? No,
residual?
Well, yeah.
or is the $200,000 for first and $124,000 for second? That should probably cover it, right?
Yeah, and the watch.
Yeah, we can't forget about the watch. All right. Matt makes the call here with his jack 8.
Just limping on the button once again.
Get Mr. Angler pocket queens. Heads up. It's like a dream. You're playing for the title. You're on national TV.
You got all that money sitting in front of me.
And you got pocket queens.
And he had jacks before.
Mike's gonna raise.
Yep.
You're going to raise it up to $1.1 million. Action over to Mr. Bond. He's going to make the call.
Yeah, last time he back raised from this spot, remember? And moved all in. This time he just calls.
Flop is 8-5-4. This is just what Mike wants. He wants his opponent to get a piece of this so he can keep him hanging around. And that's exactly what's happening. Now Mike's going to make the bet of $980,000.
Yep.
Top pair now for Matt. Does he get squirrely and get all his chips in the middle?
I don't think so. I think the way he's played the hand so far, he's going to probably just call and peel another card. Remember, he got burned the last time with top pair. Oh, he did?
That's an all-in, and this will be a call, ladies and gentlemen.
For sure. He's just checking out.
Just checking, just making sure. He makes the call.
Matt shows jack of spades, diamonds for a pair of 8s.
And Mike's going to see the good news here. Wow, it could all be over here in 2 streets. Everybody here in the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor stands up. The biggest pot of the night. We go to the turn card. It's the ace of spades. No help from Matt. He's all in. He must improve or this tournament is over. Let's go to the river card.
Second place. Let's see the river card.
And the river card is the 10 of clubs.
It's over.
That is going to do it. Mike Engler is your new HPT champion. $200,762. But not for nothing. Matt, with a nice second place finish, will go home with just over $124K.
Really interesting to see how these two strategies played out, right? Mike Englert, the more GTO strategy versus Matt Bond, exploitive, aggressive attacking style. He came up short tonight. But wow, really fun to watch.
Well, for Bond, Mr. 007, a nice 6-figure payday, just over $124,000, and he's tableside with Jeremy Smith.
Matt, walk me through that last hand.
Well, he had been raising a lot of my limps and figured that Jack 8 was a hand that I could defend against and then shove a lot of flops, and I kind of caught about as good a flop as I could get, and he had me. He had top of his range. So
Yeah, you had top pair there. You had a good hand. You just happened to have queens on that hand.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Now your best finish so far. This is your 5th HPT final table.
Yes.
Your best so far is a 3rd. Now you have a 2nd though.
Yep.
Still $124,000 in cash. What's your plans for the money?
Gonna invest it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything specific?
Gonna gamble it all on Bitcoin. No. Maybe a little bit, but.
All right, there you have it. Matt Bond, our 2nd place finisher. Back to you guys.
All right, Ken, here at Golden Gates this week, we had over 600 entries, and now we are down to 1. The last man standing with the money in his hand. We're about to talk to him. We're talking about Mike.
Yeah, he's our champion, Mike Englert. What a fantastic tournament this guy played tonight. He really deserves the title, the championship, and all that cash.
He also deserves that championship interview, and we'll send it down to Jeremy Smith. Gentlemen.
Yeah, when you guys started Heads Up Play, he had you like 2-1. Then you guys came back to even. He had you. You had him. Great battle, Heads Up.
It was, definitely. Hats off to him. He played great today. So
you know, you've had what? This is your 3rd HPT final table. Third was the best you had. Now you have a championship. You know, you're still just over $200,000 in cash. Any specific plans for the money?
Not really. Yeah, we're going Sizzler, I guess, from the back row over there. But no, probably just buy into more tournaments, and that's all I got planned so far. So
Nice. Congratulations to our new HPT champion, Mike Engler. Back to you guys.
He's just 29 years old, our newest HPT champion, Mike Engler.
Yeah, fantastic finish. A really well-played tournament. I got to tell you, he's doing everything right. A poker pro needs two things. A bankroll, this is going to his bankroll, and good game selection. How can you get a better game than come play on the HPT?
All you got to do is check out our website at hptpoker.com. Find the event that will work for you. And who knows, maybe you'll be playing for the life-changing cash. That's all the time we have this week from the Golden Gates Casino and Poker Parlor. For our tournament director, Jeremy Smith, and my co-host, Kenneth James, I'm James Larson, and we'll see you next time right here on the HPT.